Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in, every bit of it.
I'm like, well, how is she making all this money? Oh, because she owns it and because of syndication?
Diddy's recent legal troubles have thrown a massive spotlight on the entertainment industry. And if you've been keeping up with the buzz, you know it's not just about him. The latest leaks from one of Diddy's infamous parties have raised eyebrows, and the guest list alone is enough to send shockwaves through Hollywood. Among the attendees, none other than Oprah Winfrey and Steve Harvey. Yes, the same Oprah who's built an empire on her wholesome, empowering image, and the same Steve who's become America's favorite TV host.
Just incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent until proven guilty.
So what were these two doing at one of Diddy's notorious gatherings? That's the question on everyone's mind. Diddy's parties, often referred to as freak-off events, are legendary, but not necessarily for the reasons you might think. They're not just about luxury and glamour. They're about power. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill celebrity get-togethers. These parties are exclusive, carefully orchestrated events where Hollywood's elite come together in an environment that's equal parts secretive and influential. And with new leaks surfacing, it seems like the veil of secrecy is starting to lift.
Took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
But let's back up for a second. Diddy's been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons lately, and the fallout from his legal issues is far from over. Allegations have been swirling, and while some of the details are still murky, one thing's for sure. The accusations against him have sent ripples through his circle of celebrity friends and associates. And that's where things get interesting. Because let's be real, when you see names like Oprah and Steve Harvey popping up in the context of these parties, it raises some serious questions. Why would figures like them, who've built their reputations on being role models, be associating with someone who's under such intense scrutiny? Let's start with Oprah. Now, Oprah is no stranger to controversy, but she's always managed to navigate it with grace. She's got this untouchable aura about her, right? She's the queen of daytime TV, the one who built an empire by promoting positive, empowering narratives. But her connection to Diddy is something that's been talked about for years. They've been spotted together at various high-profile events, from fashion shows to charity dinners, and they've even partnered on certain business ventures. But showing up at one of Diddy's parties while he's in the thick of these allegations, that's a whole different level of association.
New at 5, the legal troubles continue for Sean Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who says that he was sexually assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs drugged and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court.
It's got people wondering, is this just a case of Hollywood networking, or is there something deeper going on here? Oprah's presence at these parties could be seen as strategic. Let's not forget, she's a media mogul with unparalleled influence. She's got the power to shape narratives, and her public support, or even just her silent endorsement, could be exactly what Diddy needs right now. It's no secret that Diddy's facing a legal battle that could potentially shatter his career, and having someone like Oprah in his corner could help him weather the storm. But here's where things get really interesting. Oprah's carefully crafted public image is built on transparency and integrity. She spent decades cultivating a persona that's all about truth-telling and empowerment. So why would she risk that by associating with someone who's caught up in such a messy legal situation? Some say it's all about power dynamics. Oprah's influence in the media world is unmatched, and aligning herself with powerful figures like Diddy could be a way to maintain her own standing in the ever-shifting landscape of Hollywood. After all, in a town where alliances can make or break careers, it's not hard to imagine that there's more going on behind the scenes than meets the eye.
Stand-up comedian, entertainer, television host, family man. But most importantly, I happen to be a man of faith.
And then there's Steve Harvey. Now, Steve's relationship with Diddy goes back years. They've been seen together at multiple events, and Steve's even been a frequent guest at Diddy's parties over the years. But what's striking about Steve's involvement in all of this is his silence. Steve's built his entire brand on being the straight-talking, no-nonsense guy who always has something to say. He's the host of Family Feud, the author of Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success, and the guy who gives advice to millions of people on how to live their best lives. But when it comes to Diddy's current situation, crickets or crickets. Why is Steve staying quiet? Some people are speculating that Steve's silence is strategic. After all, he's got a lot to lose if he's seen as endorsing or even condoning the kind of behavior that Diddy's being accused of. But at the same time, Steve's long-standing friendship with Diddy can't be ignored. They've been tight for years, and it's clear that their relationship goes beyond just professional connections. So, is Steve trying to ride out the storm, hoping that Diddy's legal troubles will blow over? Or is there more going on behind the scenes?
Well, he said, man, that's tax evasion. You can go to prison.
Steve's silence could be a sign that he's weighing his options carefully. On the one hand, he's got his reputation to protect. He's a family man, a successful entrepreneur, and a beloved TV host. The last thing he needs is to be dragged into a scandal that could tarnish his image. But on the other hand, his friendship with Diddy might be more important to him than we realize. It's possible that Steve's trying to support Diddy in private while keeping a low profile in public. After all, Hollywood is a town built on alliances, and cutting ties with someone like Diddy could have serious repercussions. And let's not forget that Steve's own public image hasn't always been squeaky clean. There have been rumors swirling around for years about his personal and professional life, from tax issues to conflicts with former employees. And then there's the whole situation with his wife, Marjorie, and her alleged connections to a less than reputable past. If Steve were to publicly distance himself from Diddy now, it could raise even more questions about his own associations. So maybe his silence is a way of avoiding further scrutiny.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So I love my man, but what you mean, but?
But Steve's connection to Diddy goes beyond just friendship. They've collaborated on several projects over the years, and their professional relationship has often blurred the lines between business and personal. Steve's attendance at Diddy's parties has become almost routine, and it's clear that their bond is more than just surface level. But now, with Diddy facing serious legal troubles, that bond could be tested in ways we haven't seen before. Will Steve continue to stand by Diddy, or will he eventually be forced to choose between his friend and his career? One thing's for sure. The stakes are high for everyone involved. Diddy's legal issues have opened up a Pandora's box, and the ripple effects are being felt throughout Hollywood. As more details emerge about his parties and the people who attend them, the spotlight is starting to shift onto those who've been in his inner circle. And with names like Oprah and Steve Harvey in the mix, it's only a matter of time before the public starts demanding answers.
All allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months, as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner of bad behavior.
The latest leaks from Diddy's most recent party have only added fuel to the fire. According to insiders, the footage shows some of Hollywood's biggest names in attendance, and the rumors about what goes on at these events are swirling like never before. While no one's come forward to confirm the specifics, the fact that these parties are shrouded in secrecy has only heightened the intrigue. What are these parties really about? Are they just lavish celebrations, or is there something more sinister going on behind the scenes? Courtney Burgess, a lesser-known figure who's recently been thrust into the spotlight, has claimed to have seen things at these parties that would shock the public. Burgess, who's been connected to Diddy through various business dealings, has hinted that there are power dynamics at play that most people aren't aware of. His statements have been vague, but they've been enough to get people talking. And with new leaks surfacing, it seems like Burgess might be holding on to some explosive secrets.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Burgess's connection to Diddy has raised questions about what role he plays in these events and whether he's just a bystander or something more. Some sources claim that Burgess has been privy to conversations and interactions that could shed light on the true nature of Diddy's parties. And with the recent leaks, it's clear that the public is hungry for answers. But as of now, Burgess has remained tight-lipped about the specifics, leaving everyone to speculate about what really goes on behind closed doors. The involvement of high-profile figures like Oprah and Steve Harvey only adds to the mystery. Their attendance at these events could be seen as a sign of solidarity with Diddy, but it could also raise questions about their own motivations. Are they simply supporting a friend in need, or is there more at stake? The fact that these parties are being held while Diddy is facing such serious allegations has led some to speculate that there's a deeper agenda at play.
Describe yourself as a spiritual medium. What does that mean, a medium?
Médium, eu sou espiritualista.
Oprah, with her vast media empire, has the ability to control the narrative in ways that few others can. Her presence at Diddy's parties could be a way of signaling her support, but it could also be a calculated move to maintain her own influence in Hollywood's elite circles. After all, Oprah's brand is built on her connections, and staying in the good graces of someone like Diddy could be crucial to maintaining her place at the top. Steve Harvey, on the other hand, seems to be walking a fine line. His friendship with Diddy is well documented, but his silence on the matter speaks volumes. It's possible that Steve is trying to distance himself from the controversy without outright abandoning his friend. But as more details come to light, Steve may find himself in a position where he has to make a choice. Will he continue to stand by Diddy, or will he cut ties in order to protect his own reputation?
Like haters, when you get haters, you know, people's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters.
As these questions linger, the world is watching closely. Diddy's legal troubles are far from over, and the fallout is just beginning. With figures like Oprah and Steve Harvey caught in the crossfire, the stakes couldn't be higher. Their reputations, their careers, and their legacies are all on the line. And as more information comes to light, it's becoming increasingly clear that this is a story that's far from over. The leaks from Diddy's party are just the beginning. As the investigation into his actions continues, more details are sure to emerge, and the public will be eager to see how Hollywood's elite respond. Will they continue to support Diddy, or will they start to distance themselves as the pressure mounts? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the world will be watching closely as this drama unfolds.
That's part of the indictment. That's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
In the midst of all this intrigue, the real question becomes, how deep do these connections go? Diddy, Oprah, Steve Harvey, three powerhouse names, all seemingly caught up in a whirlwind of scandals, legal battles, and questionable alliances. But while their public personas appear polished and untouchable, the undercurrent of controversy surrounding them suggests that there's far more to the story than meets the eye. Let's dive into Diddy's situation first. His legal troubles are mounting, and it's not just the usual tabloid fodder. We're talking serious allegations. Everything from exploitation to coercion. And let's not forget the accusations that his parties weren't just for fun. They were allegedly used to manipulate or control people in some pretty dark ways. The lawsuits are piling up, and as more individuals come forward with their stories, it's becoming clear that Diddy's empire is in real jeopardy. The allegations are painting a picture of a man who used his immense wealth and influence to create a world where rules didn't apply. And while Diddy has denied these claims, the sheer number of lawsuits and the gravity of the accusations make it hard to ignore.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
One of the more shocking claims comes from Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former producer and videographer who worked closely with Diddy. Jones has filed a lawsuit that alleges some truly disturbing behavior. According to Jones, Diddy's inner circle wasn't just a group of loyal collaborators. It was a carefully constructed network designed to serve Diddy's whims and desires. Jones claims that he was not only harassed by Diddy, but also forced to participate in activities that left him feeling degraded and trapped. In the lawsuit, Jones describes being pressured into facilitating questionable behavior and witnessing things that he says he'll never forget. But the real bombshell in Jones's case, he claims that Diddy's parties weren't just about wild nights and celebrity guests. Instead, they were allegedly designed as a way for Diddy to gain leverage over high-profile attendees. Jones says that hidden cameras were placed throughout Diddy's properties, recording everything that happened during these events. The footage, according to Jones, captured some of Hollywood's biggest names in compromising situations that could easily be used against them if they ever crossed Diddy. If this is true, it paints a picture of a man who was not only living a wild lifestyle, but also playing a dangerous game of manipulation and control.
Like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
Now, let's talk about the other people named in Jones's lawsuit. One name that stands out is Cuba Gooding Jr., the Oscar-winning actor who, according to Jones, was involved in some of these questionable activities. Jones claims that during one of Diddy's infamous yacht parties, Cuba Gooding Jr. made unwanted advances towards him, leaving him feeling uncomfortable and violated. This alleged incident has only added more fuel to the fire, as Cuba Gooding Jr. has faced his own legal battles in recent years, with multiple claims of inappropriate conduct surfacing. And then there's the mention of a certain member of the British royal family, Prince Harry. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, it's important to note that Prince Harry isn't accused of doing anything inappropriate himself. Instead, his name comes up because Diddy allegedly used his connections to high-profile figures like Harry to legitimize his parties. Jones's lawsuit suggests that Diddy's ability to attract celebrities, athletes, and even royalty to his events gave him an aura of untouchability, an aura that may have helped him evade scrutiny for years.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell.
Speaking of high-profile names, Young Miami, the rapper, and Diddy's former girlfriend, has also been dragged into the lawsuit. Jones claims that Young Miami was more than just a guest at these parties. She was allegedly involved in facilitating some of the questionable activities that took place. According to the lawsuit, Young Miami was responsible for transporting certain items across state lines for Diddy, raising even more questions about the nature of their relationship. And while Young Miami has denied any wrongdoing, the fact that her name keeps coming up in connection with these allegations can't be ignored. But here's where things get even more complicated. Jones's lawsuit doesn't just focus on Diddy's inner circle. It also names some of the most powerful figures in the music industry, including Universal Music Group CEO Lucian Grainge. The lawsuit suggests that Grainge, as the head of a major music label, had a responsibility to ensure that the financial resources provided to Diddy weren't being used for anything inappropriate. Jones claims that Grainge and UMG turned a blind eye to what was happening, allowing Diddy to continue his behavior unchecked. If true, this could have massive implications for the entire music industry, as it raises questions about how much other executives knew about Diddy's alleged activities.
Do you have a shot? I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
And that brings us to Oprah. As we mentioned earlier, Oprah's presence at Diddy's parties has raised eyebrows, but her involvement in this story goes beyond just attending a few events. Oprah's name has come up in connection with other powerful figures who faced similar accusations, leading some to wonder whether she's been protecting or enabling certain individuals behind the scenes. Take, for example, her past friendship with Harvey Weinstein. When the allegations against Weinstein became public, many were quick to point out that Oprah had been close with him for years. Photos of the two together resurfaced, and people began to question how much Oprah knew about Weinstein's behavior. Oprah has always maintained that she had no knowledge of what Weinstein was doing, but the optics were hard to ignore. And now, with her connection to Diddy coming under scrutiny, it's starting to look like Oprah's carefully curated public image might be more complicated than we thought. Could she have been turning a blind eye to Diddy's behavior in the same way people accused her of doing with Weinstein? It's a tough question, but one that's becoming harder to avoid as more details come to light.
Who claims to work miracles and heal the sick. He calls himself John of God, but there's nothing godly about him.
And let's not forget about Oprah's involvement with another controversial figure, Brazilian faith healer John of God. Oprah famously featured him on her show, calling him a miracle worker and praising his abilities to heal people through spiritual means. But in recent years, John of God has been accused of some truly horrifying acts, with hundreds of women coming forward to say that he abused them under the guise of healing. Oprah has since distanced herself from him, but the fact remains that she once promoted someone who's now facing serious legal consequences. And as more people question her connection to Diddy, it's hard not to see the parallels between these two situations. The question now is, will Oprah's reputation take a hit from all of this? She's managed to weather storms before, but this time might be different. The combination of Diddy's legal troubles and her past associations with other controversial figures could be enough to make even her most loyal fans start to question her judgment. And as more information comes out, it's possible that Oprah will have to address these issues head-on, something she's typically been able to avoid in the past.
Let's first say that you shouldn't feel guilty for anything.
Steve Harvey, on the other hand, has a different set of issues to deal with. While his connection to Diddy is primarily through their friendship, Steve's own public image has taken some hits in recent years. For one, there's the ongoing speculation about his wife, Marjorie Harvey, and her alleged ties to a less than savory past. Rumors have swirled for years about Marjorie's previous marriages and her supposed connections to individuals involved in illegal activities. While Steve has never publicly addressed these rumors in detail, they've continued to follow him, adding an air of mystery to his seemingly perfect family life. But Steve's troubles don't stop there. He's also faced criticism for his business dealings, with some accusing him of being less than forthright in his financial affairs. There have been whispers about tax issues and allegations that Steve's rise to success may not have been as clean as he'd like people to believe. And while none of these rumors have been proven, they've certainly added a layer of complexity to Steve's public persona. So when you combine his personal controversies with his decision to remain silent about Diddy's legal troubles, it starts to look like Steve might be trying to keep a low profile for a reason.
Stop ignoring the red flags in your relationship and thinking you can change a man.
And let's not forget the role that the media plays in all of this. Diddy, Oprah, and Steve are all masters of controlling the narrative. But in today's world, where information spreads faster than ever, it's becoming harder for them to keep things under wraps. The leaks from Diddy's parties, the lawsuits, and the constant stream of rumors are all making it harder for these celebrities to maintain their carefully crafted images. And as more people demand transparency from those in power, the pressure is mounting for Diddy, Oprah, and Steve to address these issues head-on. It's worth noting that Diddy's legal team has been working overtime to discredit the allegations against him. His lawyers have said that the accusations are nothing more than attempts to tarnish his reputation and bring him down. They've pointed out that Diddy has always been a target for those looking to make a quick profit off his name, and they insist that he'll be cleared of any wrongdoing. But as the lawsuits continue to pile up, it's becoming harder for Diddy's team to dismiss these claims as mere opportunism.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
And what about the other celebrities who've been named in these lawsuits? Will they speak out in defense of Diddy, or will they distance themselves to protect their own reputations? So far, most have remained silent, likely waiting to see how things play out before making any public statements. But as the pressure mounts, it's only a matter of time before some of these high-profile figures will have to address their involvement, whether it's Cuba Gooding GER, Young Miami, or even Oprah and Steve. One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. The web of connections between Diddy, Oprah, Steve, and the rest of Hollywood's elite is more tangled than anyone could have imagined. And as more details emerge, it's becoming clear that this isn't just about one man's legal troubles. It's about a system of power and influence that's been allowed to operate unchecked for far too long.
Well, you got to do your due diligence, and his team should have did the due diligence. And a lot of times, people do slip through the cracks. There's things that you don't see and don't find out until later on. But I mean, when people are making claims like the way people are making claims, you have to do your due diligence to make sure that if you're having that person on your platform, which is a huge platform, that you're putting out the proper and correct news.
So what's next? Will Oprah and Steve continue to stand by Diddy, or will they be forced to distance themselves as the allegations grow more serious? And what about the other powerful figures in Diddy's orbit? Will they face scrutiny for their involvement, or will they be able to slip under the radar? Either way, Hollywood is watching closely, and the fallout from this scandal could be bigger than anyone expects. As we wait for more information to come out, it's clear that the reputations of some of the most powerful people in the entertainment industry are hanging in the balance. Diddy's legal battle may be the spark that ignites a much larger fire, one that could expose the hidden dynamics of power, influence, and control that have long been at play in Hollywood. And as the world tunes in to see what happens next, one thing is certain. This is a story that won't be going away anytime soon.
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
So, what do you think? Are Oprah and Steve Harvey protecting Diddy? Or are they just caught up in a scandal that's spiraling out of control? Could this be the beginning of the end for some of Hollywood's biggest names? Or will they find a way to weather the storm? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates on this unfolding drama.